Good evening. I'm Mayor Jody Perry, and it's my honor to share with you the State of the City for 2025. Last year, I delivered this address in person prior to a City Council meeting. This year, I decided to go to a virtual event, in part because of the construction currently happening on our council chambers, and in part because more people would see it online. We should be back in our newly renovated space by early summer. But in the meantime, our council meetings are still open to the public on the second floor in Courtroom 1 on the first and third Tuesdays of each month. One of the most unique parts of serving as your mayor is the firsthand view I have on a daily basis of the many projects, developments, and activities happening that are moving our community forward. A day in the life of the mayor could include planning for an upcoming infrastructure project, a phone call with a concerned resident, talking to local school kids, a meeting with a prospective new business, a city council meeting, or even taking a call from the police or fire chief about an incident that is happening. It is not only different every day, some days it is different every hour. That is one of the reasons that I enjoy serving in this role. Make no mistake, there are many tough decisions and difficult moments. But when we have the chance to make a positive change in the community, those are the best days. I have seen firsthand the pride that people have in their hometown of Mansfield, no matter if they were born and raised here or transplanted. As I look back over the last 15 months since I took office, I am so encouraged by the changes that we have seen, and I firmly believe it is just the promise of even better things ahead. The state of the city of Mansfield is strengthening. We are a city on the cusp of great opportunity. We are a city seeing the first fruits of major changes that will strengthen us even more. While it is true that we have many challenges yet to face, my first 15 months as mayor has confirmed for me that there is great reason for optimism as we look at our collective future. Growth, infrastructure, and safety remain the top priorities that we are working towards. We talk about our work centered around these goals on a regular basis with our departmental leaders and fellow city elected officials. One thing I learned quickly is that in order to make progress in these strategic areas, we would need the assistance and leadership of our other local elected officials, from our finance director, law director, and city council members, to our municipal court officials, county leaders, and beyond. We are trying to work together as a team whenever possible to effect changes in areas that were long overdue for them. I appreciate all the work we've done together and their commitment to bringing positive change. I also want to recognize the great work our city department leaders do each and every day. While I have the opportunity to share these updates with you, this is the work of these fine people and their teams. Whether they lead a handful of people or many dozens, they do the work with great integrity and dedication. They are on the front lines of everything we do, and I want to thank them for all the work they do day in and day out for our community. It's truly my honor to work alongside each of you. Now, I know that one of the most important decisions any leader makes is the team with which they surround themselves. As I came into this position, I spent a lot of time thinking about the type of administration I wanted to have. I needed leaders who were knowledgeable in areas that I was not, that would be honest with me about their opinions on decisions we had to make, even when it differed from mine, that would treat our employees, residents, and businesses with respect at all times, and be able to be transparent and communicative. I could not be more pleased with our new Safety Service Director, Keith Porch, and Public Works Director, Louis Andrus. Between them, they have over 70 years of public service experience at different levels of government. They have each taken on areas that were familiar to them and areas that were completely new, and have served with strong dedication and perseverance. I'm so grateful for their leadership and support. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the administrative support provided by Tina German and Julie Shoup to our team, as well as the decades of work provided by the now retired Marlene Skaronski. Now, Hold tight, because we're about to take a fast-paced ride through 15 different departments, dozens and dozens of finished projects, talk about the amazing work of the 465 employees of the city of Mansfield, and give you a glimpse of what is on tap for the rest of 2025. Growth is our first priority area. Why is growth so important? Think of a tree. It starts as a seed, and as long as it stays healthy, it continues to grow. It gets bigger, greener, and stronger bit by bit. The growth can happen quickly, and yet you can't sit and watch it take place in real time. Each year, it produces new seeds that will fall, and at least some of them begin to grow. One day, when the tree begins to wither and fade, if a new tree isn't coming up behind it, the forest will be left with a bare spot. I look at communities in the same way. We cannot just count on the success of the past, because eventually that will start to tarnish, and we will be left with gaps. We need new businesses, creating new jobs, and new residents moving to town to continue our forward motion. That's the role of economic development. We aim to help those businesses come into a healthy environment where they can grow, and in turn give back to our community. In 2024, we took some solid steps forward in terms of economic development. After the retirement of our longtime director, we formed a new partnership with the Richland Area Chamber to serve as our chief ambassador for growth. With Ellen Hines, Barrett Thomas, and the other chamber staff, we are already off to a strong start in terms of helping local businesses grow or relocate here. A few of the projects I would like to highlight include a new manufacturing location for Adina NCF. This investment will add at least 10 new jobs and represents millions of dollars of capital expansion. Eagle Mark IV opened their new location in the old foundry property. They have rapidly expanded to over 80 local employees and invested significant money in improving that facility. Schmidt Security Pro is finalizing a second building on their property on Harrington Memorial Parkway, adding new jobs and millions in investment. Adina Development announced that they would begin building their second spec manufacturing building at Airport West in 2025. Why is this important? Businesses looking to relocate often base their decisions on three factors: speed to market, lowest risk, and lowest investment cost. Having a building that is 90% ready to go will positively impact all of those factors. We appreciate this strong investment by Adina and look forward to welcoming a new business to locate there in the next year or two. Last year, Westbrook Country Club finished up a huge multi-million-dollar expansion, which saw completely new dining facilities, pro shop, gym areas, event space, and much more come online. This is just the start of the investment on that property, as the Niss family continues to work to transform the former Lumberman's Insurance campus into condominiums and event space. Mansfield-Lom Regional Airport is an important part of our economic development activity. In 2020, Niss Aviation took over operations as our fixed base operator. Since that time, they built a new hangar, added self-service fueling, and upgraded a number of other services. Last year, they took down the former restaurant facility in preparation for building a new restaurant called the Sky Club, which will begin building later this summer. We have a dedicated flight school at the airport named Avit Flight Academy, who has been very busy with new pilots in the area. Airport manager Mark Doherty and his team worked on a lot of planning activities throughout the year, including design work for a resurfacing project on runway 1432 that will take place this year. We also installed a new drone detection system on the decommissioned radar tower site to increase security in the area. And our crews also worked with partners to host another successful airport day in early August with a well-attended drone show at the end of the evening. Another good indicator of burgeoning economic development is the strong growth in building permits. Under the leadership of Adrian Ackerman, our permitting and development department had an extremely busy year, issuing 718 building permits, which is an increase of nearly 50% over 2023. They also performed over 1,000 permit inspections, also a significant increase over previous years. Part of growth is attending to the first impressions we make as a community, something this administration is focusing on. Last year, our very dedicated housing inspectors issued 2,432 code violations across the city, ordered mowing on 355 properties, and the city crews completed 224 cleanup and board-up orders on blighted properties. Long-term, of course, we want to see these numbers drop because people are taking better care of their properties. In the meantime, however, we are working to ensure that this transformation continues. We will soon be introducing legislation for a property maintenance code, which will give us greater options to enforce better property management to help protect your investment as homeowners and taxpayers. Community development started the design and engineering work for phases 2 and 3 of the West End target area along Glessner Avenue. This project is revitalizing a strategic corridor leading to the county's largest employer, Ohio Health Mansfield Hospital. Community development block grant funds were allocated to support 6 local agencies and programs, such as the Summer Kids program in our parks. We also helped with emergency home repairs for low-income residents and down payment assistance. Housing expansion is beginning to blossom. We saw several projects begin last year, including Phase 5 of the Tower Lakes development, the Walker Woods development off Home Road, Brushwood Estates, and the Silver Birch Senior Living Facility on Klein Avenue. In partnership with the Richland County Foundation, we also awarded incentives to developers for new downtown apartments in the brownstones on East 3rd Street and Famico's Place in the former Webb's Grocery at the corner of Mulberry and West 5th Street. Our second priority area is infrastructure. This is a word that is tossed around a lot these days. If you go back to my tree analogy, think of infrastructure as the root and limb system of the tree. It is what everything else is built on. It connects the different parts of the community. It is the thing that you never think about when it works right, but you notice right away when it is broken. In 2024, the city of Mansfield celebrated 216 years since its founding in 1808. That means in the oldest parts of town, our infrastructure dates back to well over a century. And even in the newer parts, it is many decades old. Just like anything else, it needs to be maintained and upgraded on a regular basis. Our city engineer, Bob Bianchi, leads a robust program of regular improvements designed to enhance resident services and the community. Perhaps most familiar to people is our streets program, which resurfaced 103 streets and alleys, representing about 19 miles of roadway. Additionally, they completed a traffic signal upgrade at Marion and Maple, which has brought about a greatly improved functioning of this unique 5-way intersection. What you may not realize is that when you see shovels going into the ground for a project, you're really only seeing the final stages of something. Many of these large programs take years of planning to bring to fruition. That's one of the most important roles our engineering department takes on for us, guiding these to completion. We are in the midst of a major upgrade to our local bike and walk trail system. Trail systems are vital for communities, offering benefits like improved health, economic growth, and enhanced quality of life by providing safe and accessible spaces for recreation, transportation, and community engagement. In 2024, we completed the first phase of this, which was a tunnel connecting the Cook-Trimble Road Trail under the 4-lane roadway. This year, we will be building the connection piece from the tunnel to the B&O Bike Trail, as well as along Millsboro Road from Trimble to Marion. This will make it easier for users of the bike trail to connect with the south side of Mansfield. We are also building the Parkview Trail along the north side, from North Lake Park through Middle and South Parks to Maple Lake Park. In March, voters passed a new 0.25% income tax dedicated to replacing our old water mains and fixing hundreds of non-working fire hydrants. The engineering office jumped into action right away, beginning the design work for the first year of the program. Next month, we will begin the first significant replacements of water mains in decades, and work will take place throughout all of the city. Of course, the star of the show here is the massive Main Street Revitalization Project, which kicked off construction last month after 6 years of planning. Rebuilding the so-called front door of the community was a top recommendation of the Mansfield Rising Plan. Working in conjunction with Jen Keim and the team at Downtown Mansfield, the Chamber, and others, our engineering team secured 9 grants totaling $15.1 million to minimize the impact to local taxpayers. This video will give you an idea of just how transformational this project will be. In the heart of Ohio, Mansfield is on the brink of a transformative journey. Main Street, a vital urban artery, will undergo a makeover from 1st to 5th Street, blending history with a modern touch while preserving the essence of our small town. The conversion of Main Street from one-way to two-way traffic aims to enhance downtown accessibility. Starting at 1st Street, a new northbound traffic lane will replace one of the previous 3 southbound lanes. 2nd Street becomes the southern gateway with stone pillars, widened sidewalks, and landscaping, which creates a softer, greener aesthetic. Approaching Central Park, ornamental lighting, art installations, and public art reflecting our local culture will enhance the square's inviting atmosphere. Deliberately designed green spaces are also planned and will be strategically positioned to offer downtown visitors refuge from the city hardscape. Amenities like traffic-protected seating areas, spaces for gathering, natural materials and water features, and sustainable infrastructure will ensure a resilient future for Mansfield. We are crafting inclusive areas that convey a sense of belonging for all. Central Park's north and south areas will be connected with a pedestrian-friendly urban crossing. Existing park features will remain, offering opportunities for lively public spaces rooted in the city's history. Two-way traffic on Main opens doors for future transportation options. Additional parking and additional natural features north along the corridor will elevate Mansfield's iconic Main Street into a new experience where the past meets the present. The revitalized Main Street promises a family-friendly atmosphere with modern lighting and pedestrian-friendly streetscapes. The improved Main Street will be more conducive to hosting new events like pop-up markets, art exhibits, and festivals or block parties. As transformative improvements blossom citywide, Mansfield promises a brighter, vibrant future for improved quality of life and economic development rooted in our community's rich character. I'm Mayor Jody Perry. Welcome to the new Main Street, the heart of Mansfield, the heart of Ohio. I've worked on this project since the very beginning, and I am so excited seeing this work get underway after so many years of planning. And I know it will drive further investment in our downtown and throughout the city. The water treatment plant is in the final stages of a massive multi-year rehabilitation project, which is providing essential updates to this vital service. New pumps, tanks, and other equipment are being installed with this project, which will keep the plant operating for another 50 years. The plant, under the leadership of Leon Bursley Jr., pumped out 3.36 billion gallons of safe potable drinking water. We take for granted that water will come out of the tap when we turn it on, but we probably don't put a lot of thought into what goes into making that happen. Our treatment plant team stays busy with the 24/7 operation that is closely monitored by the EPA. Our laboratory performed over 56,000 tests last year for a variety of factors, ensuring that the water you drink is safe and clean. Our wastewater treatment plant, under the direction of Bob Coker, treated an average of 9.1 million gallons of wastewater per day, which is also closely monitored by the EPA. The plant completed successful audits on a number of their facilities and procedures. In addition to the plant, this team manages 17 lift stations throughout the community. They also undertook important repair and maintenance on different equipment that ensures we can keep operating without interruption. We have a very busy service complex, which is made up of the streets, water repair, sewer repair, and repair garage departments under the leadership of Steve Brown. This team works hard to respond to a multitude of needs. Let me give you a few stats just to give you an idea. They filled 717 potholes, responded to 180 traffic signal calls, repaired or replaced 617 signs, responded to over 2,000 public requests for service. The street sweeper cleaned 925 miles of roadway and disposed of 135 tons of road waste, plowed and salted over 660 miles of public roads, fixed 120 water main leaks, installed 36 new water taps, responded to 135 requests for fire hydrant maintenance, responded to over 500 sewer backup calls, cleaned, repaired, or replaced over 200 storm catch basins. And last, but certainly not least, the repair garage, which fixes and maintains all of the many pieces of equipment that powers this and other departments, completed 507 work orders for the year. Our utility collections department, under the direction of Stephanie Samuel, has taken significant steps forward in 2024. We were able to get the itemized charges to show on the bill, something which had been promised for years. Earlier this year, we also completed the transition to measuring in gallons, another objective which had been talked about for a long time. Soon, we will have a new customer portal so that you can look at your water usage in real time. And we're also looking at improved options for bill payment. I appreciate the work that Stephanie and her team are doing to get the progress that our residents have been asking for. Clear Fork Reservoir is technically under our water fund, since it is the source of so much of the city's water supply. But most of our residents know it as a wonderful recreational asset. Many people love to drive down there to watch the sunset or enjoy a little bit of peace and quiet. Scott Cotterman is a Clear Fork supervisor, and since taking over in late 2023, he has worked with his team on significant improvements. Those improvements include things at the marina restrooms, new signage, and parking areas and pull-offs. The docks and campsites were full in 2024, and it has become a popular location for both disc golf and fishing tournaments. Operation Spillway began to remove 75 years of overgrowth and silt in the Spillway plunge pool. This will prevent erosion and maintain conservation in downstream habitats. 2025 is off to a busy start here as well, with many additional upgrades and improvements being made to enhance the visitor's experience. One of the areas that generate a lot of buzz in the community was our city parks. Coming into this role, I heard from many residents about how much they wanted to see our parks improve. Of course, the parks were closed entirely for 8 years during fiscal emergency, so it has taken many years to begin to get caught up from that. The city owns 22 different parks, and in 2024, our parks crews, under the supervision of Superintendent Mark Abrams, completed a whopping 88 different projects in 12 parks. Some of those are large projects, such as the new playground equipment at Prospect and Maple Lake Parks. Some were smaller projects, such as installing or fixing benches, adding dog waste stations, and new signage. With decades of experience in parks management, Public Works Director Andrus has worked closely with our crews to help bring new enthusiasm, knowledge, and pride to the important work that they do. We also worked hard to expand recreational opportunities that our crews provide to the community. Everything from the drive-through Easter candy handout, Bike-a-Palooza, Summer Kids program, and many different arts and crafts programs. Another essential element in the momentum we are seeing in the parks is the strong community partnerships. Sterkel Park has been completely transformed, thanks in large part to the work of Richland New Hope and the generosity of private donors and public partners such as Richland County in the state of Ohio. While the grand opening will be held in May, the majority of the work was completed throughout 2024. If you have not had a chance to visit this park yet, you will be blown away by the extensive investment that has been made. Liberty Park is another area that is seeing new energy thanks to the work of many local individuals and groups. A new basketball court was unveiled in July thanks to the generosity of Coca-Cola Consolidated. The baseball field was revitalized in partnership with Madison Schools. Rewild Liberty has done extensive plantings along the stream and other work. The Liberty DIY Skate Park continued their work to add new features for local skateboarders. The Friends of Liberty Park and 2 local VFW posts helped rebuild the historic flagpole. Mansfield Baptist Temple built a new pedestrian footbridge. The road was resurfaced, the culvert was replaced, and city crews poured new cement walkways. The beautiful historic sandstone was restored on the former bathhouse and bridge. In an innovative partnership, career tech students from Mansfield City and Madison helped to demo the inside of the bathhouse in preparation for renovations to make it a pavilion space, thanks to grants we have received from the Richland County Foundation and Miller Foundation. Richland Public Health has helped to add many new amenities in our park system, and the Mansfield Richland County Public Library helped us create the Storybook Trail at South Park. And there is more to come. Projects at King Street, Johns, Middle, Prospect, and Maple Lake Parks are on tap for 2025. I am always excited when a resident stops to say how much they appreciate all the work we are doing in the parks. I'm glad to know that people are seeing the transformation, and I'm so proud of our team for how hard they have worked throughout the last year to make this change. Finally, our last but equally important priority area is public safety. One of the prime directives of any city, ensuring our residents' safety and security, is an essential factor in our ability to grow as a community. I took office as we were finishing a year that had seen a significant increase of violence. While this trend was also seen in many other cities across the country, we knew that we needed to work collectively to change that trajectory for the future. When Keith Porch became our Safety Service Director, I had the chance to name a new police chief. Jason Ballman was sworn in as chief in March, and Mike Napier became assistant chief in April. That also set off a number of promotions and changes at all levels of the department. One of the areas we knew we had to continue to work on was recruitment. The city, like so many other law enforcement departments across the country, had been understaffed for several years. We were able to have a net gain of 5 officers in 2024 for a total of 82 sworn officers and 39 civilian personnel in December. As you can imagine, the process to become an officer is quite extensive, with civil service testing, physical testing, background checks, and training. It is a slow and methodical work to build up your numbers, and I am so thankful to the team in the police department who works on recruiting every day. We are making significant progress with personnel levels, which allows us to do more things like community policing, specialized bureau, and more. In 2024, police handled 30,186 calls for service and made 3,336 arrests. I'm pleased to report that Part 1 crimes, the most serious ones, saw an overall decline of 20%. The Detectives Bureau investigated 369 cases, and along with our crime lab, they were able to solve a 40-year-old cold case. In response to the gun violence we have seen, several years ago, the police formed the Community Action Team, consisting of 5 officers and 1 supervisor, who have received specialized training in handling these crimes. The team was able to bring 90 misdemeanor arrests, 141 felony cases to charge, and conducted 31 search warrants. I want to laud the police department for all they do to leverage our local tax dollars by being active and aggressive in going after grants to assist with funding personnel and projects. Because of this work, they have been able to upgrade many vehicles, add state-of-the-art new equipment, and support essential personnel. One of those projects was completed was the Shoot House, which is providing unique training to both local and statewide law enforcement to aid in their response to live shooter situations. Also under the Division of Police is our 911 dispatch team. Under the leadership of Mark Huckleberry, they were the ones taking those tens of thousands of calls for service for both police and fire response. In 2024, they went live with a new computer-aided dispatch system, which when fully implemented will improve response to emergency situations. This year, we will begin a one-year test of a drone response system, which will allow dispatchers to send a drone to certain emergency situations to provide key tactical information to our first responders. While I was pleased to see the improvement in our violent crime statistics, even one death is too much. We remain committed to changing the trajectory of violence from a cohesive standpoint and know that law enforcement plays a key role, but not the only one. Ensuring our children and youth have safe activities and options to stay busy will help them stay out of the way of those who mean to cause harm. We continue to work with our schools, faith-based and nonprofit organizations, and others to ensure that we are aligned in the work taking place in order to see a stark improvement over the current situation. Programs like the ACE program, PAL Sports, Safety Town, and the Mentoring Program are an important part of the police department as we work to make a positive impact on this next generation. To the community, I say this: it is incumbent on all of us to work together to turn this tide for our kiddos. Safety is more than just law enforcement. It is also emergency response. With our new fire chief, Dan Crow, the Mansfield Fire Department made many strides forward in 2024. This is a busy and active department, which responded to 11,895 calls for service over the course of the year, with EMS making up over 10,000 of those calls. We saw the retirement of 6 long-serving members, swore in 5 new firefighters, and had 9 promotions. The department worked with community stakeholders to create their first strategic plan and new mission, vision, and core values. They implemented the Marks radio system, which significantly enhanced communication reliability and operational coordination. They also developed a comprehensive training program that set standards in core areas and received grants for essential fire officer training that is taking place throughout 2025. Chief Crow worked on strengthening mutual aid relationships with neighboring communities and is continuing to look at ways to enhance that this year. The fire department also supports the community in a variety of ways, from helping to replace smoke detectors, ensuring a strong Fire Prevention Bureau program of activities, and even had some fun with running their hoses at local parks during the sweltering dog days of summer. We appreciate their work and dedication to serving our residents. The City of Mansfield is a large and complex organization with many moving pieces and parts. Underlying all the work of these departments that I have highlighted so far are the internal service departments. Each of these teams worked on many important projects that as a resident you may not experience firsthand, but were vital to improving the operations of the city. Our maintenance team, led by Gary Utt Jr., completed several important building and maintenance projects. One of the most talked about were the improvements to the front of the building along North Diamond Street. From painting, power washing, and other touch-ups, the front door of the city building shined brighter last year. We also kicked off a multi-million-dollar renovation of our nearly 50-year-old City Hall facility. Pardon our dust as we work through that this year, but it is bringing important upgrades in accessibility, efficiency, and maintenance. The Human Resources team, led by Sharon May, worked on hiring for dozens of positions of all varieties, reviews of employee benefits, and updates to personnel policies. We have 465 employees, and every day is busy as we work in conjunction with our bargaining units to ensure a strong, trained, and dedicated workforce. HR also helps with procurement, and they assisted with 26 contract bids, purchasing dozens of pieces of equipment, and the sale of close to $100,000 of assets, which were no longer needed on gov deals. We saw significant changes in our IT department last year as Mark Huckleberry became the new Chief Technology Officer. We made critical upgrades to our network security and technology infrastructure. Our team answered over 4,000 tickets for trouble, installed over 120 new devices, and navigated many changes in technology with ease. I'm so appreciative of their work, as they are the backbone of the technology we use every day to continue to serve our residents. One of the areas that I have worked hard to improve upon is communication. In terms of social media, we revitalized the City of Mansfield Facebook page, growing to over 6,000 followers, with a reach of over 630,000 people and over 46,000 interactions. I created my mayor's Facebook page as well, which added another 3,200 followers, reaching 224,000 people and generating over 56,000 interactions. It has allowed us to keep you updated throughout the year on the many things that are happening in Mansfield. We embrace the new community brand and have taken steps to implement it throughout the city, from new markings on our city vehicles to new wayfinding signage that you will begin seeing throughout the city in 2025. We know that this will help give a more cohesive impression to our area. Some of the steps we have taken have generated a lot of feedback, such as the anti-cruising ordinance and speed bumps aimed at eliminating the racing and other activity happening along the Miracle Mile. And after extensive debate, City Council approved cannabis dispensaries with a limit of 3, the first 2 of which will open later this year. 2024 even brought some historic happenings, such as the total solar eclipse in April, which was certainly one of the coolest natural phenomenon I have ever experienced. We got a glimpse of the aurora borealis on 2 different occasions and saw a comet trail through the sky for the first time since the dinosaurs. And don't forget the Shawshank Redemption 30th anniversary and rocking out at the ever-popular incarceration. It has been a true pleasure to work alongside our City Council members, President Phil Scott, Laura Burns, Cheryl Meyer, Reverend Ella Cuccier, Cynthia Daly, Aurelio Diaz, Deborah Mount, David Falquette, and Sherry Robertson. My fellow citywide elected officials, Finance Director Kelly Blankenship, Law Director Raleigh Harper, Municipal Court Judges Michael Kemmerer and David Badnell, and the Clerk of Courts Dan Smith have worked closely with our administration at all times. Thanks to you all for your partnership and willingness to align on these important topics. I have talked a lot about the idea of Team Mansfield. What do I mean by this? In this day and age, Mansfield is not just competing locally, regionally, or even nationally. We are competing on a global stage for development and growth. Team Mansfield is the idea that we all have a role to play to make our community successful. Find your passion and plug into the work that is being done. Participate in community cleanups, coach kids' sports teams, meet your neighbors, say nice things about our community. There are 1,000 ways for you to give back. Most certainly, we will not all always agree on everything. One quick look at social media will remind you of that. But we all have to be on Team Mansfield. We all have to work together to make improvements to this amazing community. Do we have major challenges ahead? Absolutely. I have yet to find a community that does not. We aren't going back to the way things used to be. We are forging a new path for the 21st century. We honor our history, but embrace the fact that our future success depends on the work that we are collectively doing right now. I am confident that we can and will prevail and see substantial improvements and growth. I am confident because of each of you that are on the team. Mansfield is my adopted hometown. I fell in love with this community shortly after I moved here 11 years ago. I am so humbled and honored to serve as your mayor, and I look forward to all that we will be able to accomplish together throughout 2025. My friends, the state of our city is strengthening each and every day. Thank you.
Mansfield and Richland County are for the strong and inspired. Rolling hills reflect the grit and glory of our ups and downs. Generations of industrious farmers empowering the American dream. We are a family of communities working together. The roads, rivers, and trails that connect our cities are filled with people committed to the promise of abundant living. From our beginning to now, we are makers who built the nation's trust by giving life to innovations that changed our world. Boldly setting the standard for reinvention and reimagination. We are outspoken, hard-working trailblazers. We turn tenacity into triumph. And we love the soul-inspiring replenishment that comes from the great outdoors. We are creators, sharing a collective vision. Deeply rooted in the success of our past. We are building momentum, led by today's dreamers. We are a story in the making. And the only thing missing? The chapter you will help us write. Come, make it in Mansfield. Welcome home.